I've worked part-time as a DoorDash delivery driver last year. I had another job at a clothing store, but on certain days I would actually make more money doing deliveries due to more people ordering on specific days. So on those days, I spend most of my night driving around, doing this for almost 6 months. At the time, I had gotten very familiar with it, and it was kind of just second nature. To make things better, my town rarely had any traffic, even during rush hour. Anyways, it was a regular night of delivering, and I had just picked up a large order from a fancy restaurant and began making my way to the customer's house. Big expensive orders are always the best ones to do. These orders pay more and really didn't take any extra effort compared to other deliveries, so it kind of just felt like a bonus. I pulled into the neighborhood of large homes, which made sense considering the size of order in the fancy restaurant. It was a very foresty area with most of the houses hidden behind long driveways that went into the trees. The customer's house wasn't too far into the neighborhood, though it was only a couple minutes down the road. Usually I park on the side of a street and walked up to the front door, but with driveways like these, I would obviously just go down them to get closer to the house since they were so far away. But as soon as I turned onto the driveway, I slammed on my brakes. There is a chain held up by two players on either side of driveway, blocking an entrance. I see these before, but I rarely ever see and the chain actually connected. I figured they just forgotten to undo it, so I got out my car and made my way over to the pillar on the right side. I immediately noticed there was a lock on it that required a key, preventing me from just moving it. I stood there annoyed and looked down the driveway, but I couldn't even see the house from where I was, so I went back to my car and grabbed my phone to call the customer. A man answered after the first ring, and I explained that I was their DoorDash driver and that the chain was blocking the entrance to driveway. He responded saying that there was no easy way to unlock it right now, but the house wasn't very far down, so I shouldn't have to walk very far. I pretended to be nice and said okay and hang up. Typical rich family, I whispered to myself as I reached into the passenger seat to grab the large bag of food. I made sure to lock my car, then walk around the chain and down the pass. About a minute into the walk, I started getting a little nervous. It was really dark and they didn't have any lights on the side of their driveway. I still wasn't able to see the house yet either, which I thought was strange since they had told me that it wasn't a long walk. Then I heard crunching footsteps coming from the dark trees to the left of me. I stopped and stared at the direction they were coming from. As they came closer, I began to make out a figure of a man holding his hand up as if to say hello. I asked, "Who are you?" I asked, trying to hide my shaky voice. The man joined me on the driveway and explained that he was the one I just talked to on the phone. I was still uncomfortable and asked what he was doing. He took a step forward that began saying that the driveway took a sharp turn up ahead and it was actually a shortcut to get through the trees. So he figured he'd meet me halfway since it was a long walk for me. I found this whole situation to be really strange and he had said on the phone that it was a short walk, but now he was admitting that it was a long. It just didn't add up. The man stood a few feet away from me and held his hand out for the bag. I hesitantly stepped towards him and handed him the food. He thanked me and turned around. The head backed away. He came, but then he stopped and turned to face me again. "I've forgotten to bring your cash tip," he said, looking me in the eyes. Something about the way he said it made me extremely uncomfortable. So I said, "Don't worry about it," and I started walking back down driveway to my car. "It's just a quick walk through here. If you want to come with me, I can drive you back to your car once I give you your tip." I didn't respond and began walking faster down the dark driveway. A few seconds later, I heard leaves crunching as the man walked back into the trees. I was just glad he didn't try to follow me. Once I got back to my car, I drove off quickly and ended my deliveries for the night. When I made it home, I reported to the police just in case, and an operator said they would send an officer down to talk to the owners of the house. I still get chills thinking about the whole situation, mainly because I got a call a couple hours later from an officer explaining that he talked to the resident living in the house, but they had no idea what he was talking about, as they didn't order anything for delivery. I don't know if the residents were lying or not, but either way, it was very disturbing experience and has made me a lot more cautious when doing deliveries at night.